Hi all, this is a short video on blockchain. Most of you have probably heard of it in the news with the likes of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but it's so much more than just that. Just before we dive in, an interesting fact you may not know is that blockchain technology was first outlined in 1991 by two researchers who wanted to implement a system where document timestamps could not be tampered with. There are 5 main questions that we'll answer today. First, what is blockchain? Second, what is a block? Third, why is blockchain so secure? Fourth, what types of blockchain are there? And lastly, where is blockchain currently being used? First off, to understand what is blockchain, it helps to understand what blockchain is not. For blockchain to store information and keep track of what is going on, traditional databases were used as seen here on the left. These are databases that require a central party to control the information and distribute it to participants. An example of a traditional database is one where your bank keeps the master file of all your transactions and sends you a statement at the end of the month. In contrast, a blockchain involves distributing multiple copies of the data to all participants or nodes within the blockchain network. For now, just think of these blocks as blocks of data. This means that multiple people have the exact same copy of all the data at any given time. Here there is no central holder of information. This way there are multiple copies of the information, making tampering with it near impossible, as someone else will always have an exact copy. It also means that there is a greater amount of transparency amongst the participants of the blockchain. The first part of understanding blockchain is understanding that it is essentially a distributed database with each node or individual having a copy of the data. Now, knowing that the blockchain is essentially a distributed database, the next question to ask is, what is a block in the blockchain? Fundamentally, there are 4 main parts to a block. Data. The data stored in a block could be a simple string such as Thursday, or a list of transactions like in a cryptocurrency. It could be anything at all. The hash of the block. The hash is a unique identifier for a block. You can think of it as a unique fingerprint that identifies that block, just like a driver's license number identifies an individual on the road. In addition to the hash, the previous hash of the previous block in the blockchain is also stored. This allows a sequential chain to form. As you can see in the picture below, each block has the previous hash stored as well as its own hash. So for example, if a block were tampered with, then its hash would change, and this would lead to the previous hash no longer matching, creating a break in the chain. A break means that someone has tampered with a block in the blockchain. Lastly, some metadata is also stored, such as the block number and a timestamp for when the block was formed. But I lied, there's actually a lot more that goes into a block, but the 4 main things are its hash function, which is essentially its fingerprint, the previous hash, the data it is storing, and then all other metadata. With this hashing and creating a continuous chain of transactions, an immutable storage of data is created. That is data that can hold its integrity and is essentially tamper-proof. The 2 properties that we just discussed of blockchain being distributed and immutable create a secure and tamper-proof way of storing data. Distributed meaning every node on the network is a copy of all the data. Immutable meaning that the data is essentially tamper-proof, as it is in a continuous chain that if broken, then evidence of tampering can be easily identified. But also the fact that the block itself is encrypted. With the understanding of what goes into a block and how a blockchain is formed, the next step is to know that there are 2 main types of networks on which a blockchain can exist. The first being permissionless. This is a blockchain network that anyone can join and transact on. An example is Bitcoin, where everyone can transact Bitcoins amongst themselves and you don't need special permission to become a node on the blockchain. The second is permission-based. These blockchain networks are closed to the public and require special permission to join. You can think of this just like a workplace network where only the employees of that business have access to the network. This permission-based network what is used in government and businesses. Now on to where do we see blockchain being used today. Here we have 3 business cases where blockchain is being used. The first is, Nestle has partnered with IBM to create a food trust blockchain network. This network links together the grower, processors, wholesalers, distributors, manufacturers, and retailers, and creates a transparent picture of where the food is coming from and what goes into it. This helps optimize the supply chain, increase freshness, improve food safety, minimizing waste and cost, and provides trusted provenance of where food is coming from. The second is tracking pharmaceuticals and ensuring authenticity. This is extremely important because almost 30% of pharmaceutical products sold in emerging markets are counterfeit. This is similar to the food traceability but with medicines instead, where the movement of pharmaceuticals throughout the entire supply chain from start to finish is tracked securely. Another simple blockchain uses through the use of smart contracts that are enacted when certain criteria are met. For example, a pallet with connection to the blockchain can automatically transmit and confirm its delivery time and location. The blockchain then registers this and automatically verifies the delivery and makes the appropriate payment to the vendor. This reduces the need for matching invoices to purchase orders and the paperwork involved. There are many more use cases, and blockchain technology continues to be implemented throughout the world. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you feel like you've learned something like I have through the making of this video. And see below for more resources on blockchain.